All right, civil engineering and architecture. We are working on our Habitat for Humanity house, and we've made some good progress to this point. You should have a house looking something like this with the walls, doors, windows, foundation walls, footings, roof. We are going to work on putting in a basement floor and a stairway today. So to give you an idea of what we're working with so far, we have foundation walls, but we have no floor in our basement. So we need to start by putting a floor in our basement. And to give us a little idea of what we're working with, I'm going to jump into the elevation view so that you can see the elevation that we've got. Our basement floor should be set at -10 feet. Now, when we put our basement floor in, I'm going to hide a couple things to show you what we need to do here. We want our basement floor to sit on top of our footings. So if you take a look at, I'm going to hide that again. All right, so what we want to do is we want our basement floor to sit right on this little shelf that the footing makes. Okay, so it's sitting on top of our footings, and we'll have fill underneath here. When we're building a house, we would put our concrete on top of the footing, but we'd also have the dirt or the gravel fill underneath that. So when we look at this, we need to consider an offset. We don't want to set it right here and have the floor go down, or it's going to cut into our footings, which we don't want to do. So we're going to come back and look at this once we get this step down. So to draw this, we want to be working from our basement floor plan. Zoom out just a little bit, and if you've got a nice rectangular house, that makes this very simple. If you have a shape other than that, you'll have to draw lines to go around the perimeter of this. Now, we do not want to be putting a basement under a garage. So if you have added a garage to your house, you do not need to put a basement under the garage. And eventually, we're going to change that basement foundation. In fact, you could take some time and do that. Your foundation for your basement just needs to be below frost footing levels, which basically, if you have a foundation level, you can create a new level, set your footings for your basement walls at 42 inches. That would meet the code that we need to work with. So that's another step you can be doing, but please don't put foundation walls 10 feet down for your garage. That would it would increase the cost of your walls by a great amount, which we don't need to do. So something you have to work with a little bit with what you know. You should be able to change your foundation walls, your basement to 3 foot 6 inches, also known as 42 inches. All right, so back to the task at hand. We're going to put a basement floor in. And to do that, we're just going to go up here to our architecture tab, and we'll use our floor tool. And we're going to find in here the concrete slab 4 inches. That's standard in a basement is a 4 inch concrete slab. So we'll choose that. Nothing really to change on that. So that makes that kind of easy. Again, if you're rectangular, you can just use the rectangle draw tool. If you have a different shape, you'll have to use the line tool. Okay. I'm just going to use the rectangular shape, and I'll pick a corner. I'll pick the opposing corner. And just like that, I should have that drawn. And I can even, I'm just going to finish my sketch. And there should be my concrete basement floor. If we want to go ahead and look at that, you're going to find I made a mistake. Let's go ahead and look at that from 3D. And let's go back to where we were at before. And did I get it right? Maybe I got lucky. I did. If I select this basement floor, what you'll notice that I had already set an offset of 4 inches, but you will have to set an offset of 4 inches. If I don't have an offset of 4 inches, if that's just left at 0, what's going to happen is that's going to cut into our footings. We do not want that cutting into our footings. We want to leave that nice solid footing. So just to emphasize, you want to have a base foot offset there of 0 feet and 4 inches, and then that should move that up so you're sitting on top of that. So that's our basement floor. That one should be pretty simple. Our next step is to create a stairway. Stairs are a little more involved. You've got a couple options in how you want to make your stairs. I'll talk you through some of the details. I would encourage taking some notes as you watch this. We're going to draw our stairs from the ground floor level so we can see our walls. Um, to place these in here, you have a couple options. You can have a straight run of stairs. It's going to take up a lot of space. You can have an L-shaped stairs, or you can have what I'm going to call a switchback stairs. It goes down and comes around kind of a U shape. I'll show you all three. You can decide what works best for your house. All right, to get started, we have a stair tool under architecture. Jump to the stair tool. A couple things we'll have to set, and I would suggest that you take some notes on this as you're watching the video. Take some notes in your engineering notebook so it's easy to come back and make these changes. Our base level, just a little bit of information. Stairs draw from the bottom up. Okay, so we're going to draw from our base level up to the ground floor level. So we need to set that. The default, because I'm on ground floor, the default base is ground floor. Well, we need to change that because we're going to draw from the basement. And we're going to draw up to the ground floor. Now, much like we did with the basement floor itself, we have to create an offset of 4 inches. So 0, 4, so our stairs actually sit on top of that basement. And the other end of this, on the top offset, if we don't adjust this a little bit, our stairs are going to stick up way above the floor or way below it. So on the top offset, we're going to put down a negative 0 feet, 1.5 inches. Okay, so those are our defaults. I would strongly suggest you make some notes there. Your base level we'll draw our stairs from is from the basement. The base offset is 4 inches. The top level, in other words, we're drawing up to the ground floor of your house, or in some of your cases, the first level. And then the top offset is going to be negative 1.5 inches. All right, to draw these, now there's a couple different ways we can do it. I'm going to show you a few different things here. So we are in our stair tool. Couple things we need to adjust. First one is we want to have a stairway that is 3 foot 6 inches wide. So make yourself, again, another note. The width of that, I believe Habitat for Humanity requires us to have at least a 40-inch hallway. We're going to bump that to 42 inches with our stairway. So make your actual run width of 3 feet 6 inches. We're going to leave the landing on because we're going to create a landing on 2 of the options that we do. And then the other thing we'll work with a little bit is the location line, and we'll look at that in a minute. First one we're going to do is just a straight run of stairs. So if I just click and I drag my mouse outward, you'll notice this little gray, kind of grayed out piece below the stairs. If you look at it, it says 17 risers created, 0 remaining. That means your stairway is going to have 17 risers or 17 steps, basically. Okay? All right, so that's kind of long, but we're just gonna run with that. Notice it says run left, run left. If I change that to run right, notice the orientation is on the opposite side of that center line. Okay, I'm going to go with the run right in this case. And if you take a look at this, we are drawing from the left-hand side. That's the bottom of our steps. The right-hand side is the top. Probably not going to be the best situation in our scenario. We probably want to have the top of the steps on this end. So we can flip this guy around and we'll move it into place. Okay, so there's our stairway. Basement level, yeah, we can move that. Let's see if I can arrow key that guy into place. We're going to have to move that once we get it into position. So with that, we've got our stairs drawn, and you'll notice the arrow says where it's going to and from. So it's going from the base up. The arrow shows the up direction. Green check mark, and there is our stairwell. Now we can just take that and we can drag it into position. And let's see. Oh, I did do that wrong, didn't I? Well, we're going to jump into 3D to see what this looks like, because sometimes we look at these things and it's like, what do we actually see? So let's go to 3D and let's hide this wall. hide that wall. We can see our base, our stairs. Notice how it's sitting right on top of the concrete floor. And if we look at the top here, I'm going to hide this wall so you can kind of see what's going on with this as well. I'm going to have to hide my door too, the way it looks. I'll hide the element of the door. Oh boy. I'm going to hide that whole category, I think. There we go. Now we can see the top of the steps. All right, so we've got a stair. You would be going downstairs. Well, in this case, you'd hit the wall. So we'd have to move that step over. That's kind of the downfall of a long straight run of stairs, that you're going to have a long runway to do that. So I would have to orient that in another way. So I don't like that particular stairway. I'm going to get rid of that guy. Okay, boom, it's gone. Let's go back to our ground floor. Now I'm going to show you an L-shaped stairs. An L-shaped stairs. I'm not totally decided on my house yet. I'm leaning towards the L-shaped stairs, but we're going to take a look at that. So now if we take a stairway, my base is going to be the basement. My offset, again, is 0 feet 4 inches. Our upper level is going to go up to the ground floor with an offset of negative 0 feet 1.5 inches. And now we're ready to draw. Now I want my stairway to go, if this is the basement, it's going up from the basement, taking a left, coming out right here. So that entryway, I kind of want my entrance to the stairs right here. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to click, I'm going to just place these things. Maybe I'll draw them out here. Might be easier to see. So I'm going to just place these stairs, and I'm going to go up about, I have 17 risers. So I'm going to go up almost half of them. I'll go up 8 risers, and I'm going to take a left. And I want it to come this way. Notice how I'm going. I want a landing right in this area. So I'm going to switch this from a run right to a run left. And notice now I have it landing right in this corner here. Okay. Pull that out, and you can pull beyond, but it's going to put the rest of your 9 steps in. And just like that, I have a stairway. Okay. Here's kind of the beauty of this. Drawing this out here, we can move it into place. So I'm going to finish that, and we're not going to worry about that warning. Let's go ahead and take a look at things in 3D, just see what we've got. So you can kind of see I have a stairway that comes up, I have a landing, and then it goes the rest of the way up. I kind of like that in this house situation. So let's go back to our ground floor, and now let's move it into place. Okay. To do so, I can just take this and I can drag it in. Okay. And I can move that guy. Just use my arrow keys. I should be able to move that guy up a little bit. Too far. All right. Looks like I'm in place there. I probably have just a little bit of space down here. Let's take a measure. See what I have for space down here. I have pretty small, only 1 feet 7 inches. So I may want to do something a little bit differently here. Maybe change the number of stairs, maybe fewer stairs here, more here. You get the idea, I hope. Let's see. Let's take a look at our house now. And I had hidden my my floor previously so I could see what's going on. But if I jump into my 3D again, you can kind of see my stairs are kind of in place there. Up and to the left. All right, that's that one. All right, that's kind of our left-hand turn. Now, let's go back to our ground floor because there's something pretty important here that we want to put in place here. Let's reset our elements. Notice how I had hidden my floor. Notice how I've got a floor here that I have no opening to get to my stairway. So what we need to do is we need to create an opening in our stairwell for our stairway. So let's select our floor. And if you remember our little tool down here, it's called Select Elements by Face. If there's a red X on that in your program, that does not allow you to select the floor right here. If you uncheck it, so that red X is gone, now I can select my floor, and now I can create an opening here. Okay, my floor is selected. I can edit my boundary, and we're going to just draw a line around our stairs to create an opening in our floor so that we have access to our stairwell. And complete our boundary. And if we finish our sketch, it says, would you like to leave the walls that go up to this lever attached to the bottom? Yeah, we'll leave that attached. Okay. And now you can kind of see things a little bit here. Let's look at our 3D again. You can see that we've got a hole in our stairwell so we can have access to our stairs. Let's go ahead and hide this wall as well. And then you'll be able to see a little bit better. You can kind of see our stairway fits in there. Okay. So there's our stairway. Now, this probably isn't the wisest thing to have this all wide open. We want to think of safety a little bit. So let's go back to our ground floor, and we can put a railing around that. So we can pick our railing right here. I don't want that, but I can pick my railing. I'm going to just pick the edge, go here to there, to this corner, and to the wall, so we can leave it an open stairwell. Let's see, continue. Oh, I missed the wall. I have to have one more connection here. Make sure all of our lines connect. Purple, 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 they connect. Now I can finish that. And if I go look at this in 3D again, notice how I've just added a railing around the top of that stair opening. Okay, that's a great way to do that. That leaves it a little more open up here. If you would prefer to add a wall around this, you are more than welcome to do that as well. All right. Well, let's go down in the basement a little bit. I'm going to hide another wall here. You're going to probably want to do something down here. Oftentimes, underneath stairways, you would have a wall, and you would maybe a closet or something could be there. So you could create a wall underneath here and then just cut your wall. So let's go down to our basement. And if we wanted to enclose that, we can just take our wall, our interior wall. Where am I at? Interior wall. There it is. And let's see, we are going to go up to the ground floor, and we can go ahead and draw a wall. Let's put a wall in right. Let's make this wall go right around our stairwell. Okay, so boom, 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 and there. And we can go ahead and right click and cancel. And let's go ahead and look in 3D. We'll see what we've got. This does create a little bit of work for you to do because you've got some things going on here. I think we're going to get back to a visual image of just, we'll go lines, I believe we'll go with. Yeah. So you'll have to create, well, I guess that could work. There's your stairwell. Yeah, you just created walls around your stairwell, and then you could put yourself a closet door in there. If you wanted to create a little bit of a unique wall here, let's hit cancel. Select this wall, and we don't want this wall going all the way up. Maybe you want this open so it's just a wall underneath that. I can edit the profile of that wall. Notice how it comes all the way up. I can take my line tool and I can say, okay, let's make this line go from here down to, I got a crooked line there. Let's have it go from there, so just catching the bottom of that stringer, down to, zoom in a little bit here. I'm not quite getting it the way I want it. I'll get the idea, I hope. And then we're going to modify that wall, basically. We'll hit modify. We need to clean up this wall, so we can delete this piece of the wall. We can delete, not that one, but we can do a trim on our walls, okay? If I want to keep this wall, or that line, and that line, it just trims that up. We'll do the same thing up here. This one is good, and this one is good. And you'll see what we've just developed here is we've got a wall that's underneath the stairwell, okay? We've created a wall that's underneath the stairwell, okay? So we have a little bit of opening. We can see the railing and so on. Now we could create a closet right here by putting in a door. Got walls on both sides. We're in good shape there. You could cut this wall much the same way. So if we take that particular wall, move around, and if we edit our profile, we can do the same thing as we had just done. We can draw ourselves a line from here to here and there. So then we can just go ahead and hit escape. I'm sorry, modify, cancel. We can go ahead and get rid of some lines here. Let's see, right click, cancel, get rid of that line. We can trim to corner. I want to keep these, so actually we can get rid of the rest of these, can't we? Click modify, that one goes away, this one goes away. If you notice what I've done when I drew my basement walls, because of my basement floor sitting upright, I need to use a 4-inch offset on my basement walls. Yep. Best way to control the top, yeah. We're good. We've got a wall in there, so it's enclosed that nicely. All right. So that gives you some ideas on how to do that. The third style of steps that I want to show you is let's go back to ground floor. And I'm going to leave those steps in. I kind of like those for my model. But if we're going to create the third style of stairs, we're going to use what I call a switchback. So we've got the same thing. We've got a 3-6. Yeah, we're going to go down about half of our stairs down. So we're going to go down 8. And we're going to change ourselves to a run right. I'm going to jump over a little bit to create kind of a cool railing effect. So I've got a little gap between my stairs. But I've created a stairway. And if I finish that, and we look at this in 3D view, what I've done is kind of a switchback stairs where you've got a few steps down, a landing, and a few steps down. And then you can go ahead and move that into your house like we did before. I'm going to go to ground floor. Um, Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to delete these steps altogether. And if I wanted to move these guys in, I can just drag that one in. Do the same technique as we did before. We can align that just by, in fact, we can use the align tool, modify, and we can say, let's align the edge of the wall to the edge of our stairs. Edge of the wall, edge of our stairs. And just like that, there's our switchback stairs. And we can hit modify. Let's take a look in 3D to see what that looks like. I'm going to get rid of these walls because I put those in before I start switching things up. If you remember what I did, I goofed these guys up. I didn't set my levels correctly, did I? So let's see if I can change my levels. I cannot. Or will it let me? No, I had to set my levels, but if you get the idea of what I did here, let's just go back and redo those correctly. We're going to just delete those steps. And if we go back to ground floor, remember the key is setting the offset and our levels first. So if we go to architecture, stairs, remember our base should be our basement with an offset of 0 feet, 4 inches. We want to go up to our ground floor with an offset of negative 0 feet, 1.5, oh boy, negative 0 feet, 1.5 inches. And we can go ahead and finish that. I didn't draw it. Okay, so let's go again. We're going to go that, 9 of them. We want to switch it back. So I want the other part to, maybe I want about what do I want about us? Let's put an 8-inch space between them. If we switch them back, pull this out to use all of our steps, and just like that, here is the base, here is the top. And if we look at that in 3D, there is our switchback style of a stair, and we can do the same thing as before. Go to our ground floor, and we can move that guy into place. We can just drag it in, and then use our alignment tool. That works pretty well to modify, align, edge of the wall, edge of the stairwell, edge of the wall, edge of the stairwell. And let's see, go back to our 3D view, and you can kind of see our switchback stairs. I would have to modify something of my floor cut perhaps to make this work. But that gives you the idea on putting in stairs, putting in a basement floor, adding railing around the ground floor where the stair opening is at. And from there, you can go ahead and add some basement walls for your utility room. Remember, we said you could use that for our utility room. We can put our washer, our dryer, our water heater, our furnace, all of those types of things down there. I'm going to ask you to leave, you can just basically leave the basement pretty much unfinished beyond that. But if you are putting your utilities down there, please create the room with the door and the walls. Remember, because of our floor being offset by 4 inches, we'll have to do the same thing with our walls that we draw down here. Make sure they go offset of 4 inches and they go up to the ground floor. So that should give you an idea on drawing your basement floor and adding in your stairway. Yeah, hopefully that gets you started. Have fun working with these elements of Revit, and we'll see you on the next video. See ya.